Okay, good morning, everyone. So, I think you confused a lot about the naming part of yesterday assignment. So, let's talk about the naming part today. So, I summarized some of the point for naming the branch chains alkanes. So, by naming the branch chain alkane, we have to follow the IUPAC, which is the organization to set up the rule to name various different kind of organic compound. Because organic compound, as you know, as you already read about it, is a compound composed of carbon, and it can form many different types of compound, right? It's depending on how the carbon atom is arranged and bond to each other. So today I will talk about just the naming part first. Okay, so I will use the example from your assignment yesterday to talk about the naming part. So these are the 6 points I summarized from the handout that I give it to you, the PDF file. So if we follow this IUPAC method, we will have a correct naming of the organic compound. So this is the example. This is the compound from your exercise yesterday. So it's look like this. Okay, so how can you name this compound? So first, if you follow the IUPAC method, the first rule is that you have to count the number of carbon atom in the longest chain. The longest chain carbon atom we call it as the parent chain. So if you look at this compound, the longest chain will be this bond of carbon, right? So where's my red pen? So when you count the longest chain, you have to give them the number, right? So it follow the second rule. Number each carbon starting from the carbon end that closest to the substituent. So these are the two ends. So which end is the closest to the substituents? Substituent or these two. These are called a substituent or a alkyl group. Alkyl group. Okay, so these are the substituent. So we have to start numbering from the end that closest to the substituent, right? So the closest one to the substituent is this one, not this end, right? Because the first substituent is this. So you have to put the number. So number 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So there are 5 carbon atoms in the parent chain. Next, okay, if you know that there are 5 carbon atoms in the parent chain, you can name the parent chain already, right? So 5 carbons. 5, we use the prefix of penta, right? So the name of 5 carbon alkane will be called pentane. Okay, penta is 5, and for alkane group we add the ane at the end. So this is called pentane. Okay, after that, number 3, you have to name the alkyl group and put it in front of the parent chain. So you already know that the parent chain is called pentane. Then next you name the alkyl group. The alkyl group can be named by number of carbon as well. So if it's CH3, it will be called methyl, correct? If CH3CH2, what can be called by this one? It will be called the ethyl group. Next one, CH3, CH2, CH2. This will be called the propyl group. Okay, so these are the alkyl group. The methyl, ethyl, and propyl, the name is similar to the alkane prefix, right? So methane is the one carbon. Ethane is 2 carbon. Propane and butane, right? 1 carbon, 2 carbon, 3 carbon, and 4 carbon. When it is losing 1 hydrogen and become alkyl group, it will be changed from ANE to Ly and it's become alkyl group. So methane change to methyl. Right? So methane change to methyl, ethane change to ethyl, propane change to propyl. Okay? So come back to the naming of this one. So you know that the parent chain is called pentane, correct? Next, you have to name, you have to name the alkyl group. Number 3, you have to name the alkyl group and put it in front of the parent chain. So there are 2 alkyl group in this compound. You have to put the alkyl group in front. If it only one, you just put methane or methyl in front of pentane, right? But there are 2. So if it 2 ethyl group, if the same alkyl group occur more than once, you use the prefix of di, tri, tetra, and so on as the number indicate the number of alkyl group, and then you have to attach the position of it as well. So when you write down, you have to look at the position of the methyl group. So the first methyl group is in the position of carbon number 2, and the second methyl group is in the position of carbon number 3. So you put the position and the name in front of the parent chain. Okay, the alkyl group will always in front of the parent chain. So methyl, there are 2 methyl, so you use the prefix of dimethyl pentane, right? So di indicate that there are 2 methyl group in the parent chain of pentane, which is the 5 carbon organic compound, right? Okay, but don't forget you have to put the position of these 2 methyl groups as well. When you put the positions, you have to write the number. The first methyl group is in the carbon number 2, and the second one is on the carbon number 3. So you write through 2 and 3 dimethyl pentane. Okay, so if you can see that when I write down 2 and 3, I use comma to separate number and I use hyphen to separate number from words. This will be seen in the number 6. So when you write the entire name, use hyphen to separate the number and words from each other, and use the comma to separate the number and numbers. So do not leave a space between the substituent name and the name of the parent chain. See, I close them together. I didn't put any space between dimethyl and pentane, and I write comma to separate 2 and 3, and I put hyphen in between 3 and the word dimethyl. So this will be a correct name for this compound. Okay, I haven't talked about number 5 yet. So number 5 said that if you place a different alkyl group, if in the compound there are different alkyl group, you have to place it in the alphabetical order and you have to ignore the prefix. For example, if I change this compound by changing this group, I've changed this group instead to be CH2CH3, right? So CH2CH3, this is the ethyl group, correct? So the parent chain still be the pentane, correct? This is not dimethyl anymore. It's one of the methyl and one of the ethyl. So methyl and ethyl, according to alphabetical order, ethyl become first, right? E is come before M. So I put ethyl first. Ethyl and then it have to be close to the parent chain. Okay, and then you have to put the positions of the alkyl group. So ethyl is in the third position, so 3 ethyl, 2 methyl pentane. So this is the correct naming of this compound. Okay, I hope you understand more. I will talk about the other two naming part that you guys did it wrong a lot in the next clip.